Hey there, this is Kevin Phillips, and in this quick video tutorial I want to just run through the principles of using light wrapping in Lightwave. Now, if you're not familiar with what light wrapping means, it's a compositing technique that's used to help bleed some of the background light from a background plate over the top of foreground composited elements. This could be green screened actors, or in this case a foreground 3D object. So what I've got here is an image of a Valkyrie saucer hovering just across the neighborhood across from my house, and it isn't too bad, but it originally looked something like this, which is very dark and kind of contrasty, stood out from the background plate. So let me zoom in on this and you'll be able to see the effect a bit better. Okay, so we've got the original, and I added this light wrap effect, which just gave me a little bit more kind of fake ambient light effect bleeding in from the sides of the background plate. Okay, so let's see how I did that. Now, to create this, you're going to need to get this free set of third-party tools. If you don't already have these, then you're missing out a lot of really cool tools and effects from Dennis Pontonier. Fantastic set of third-party tools, and probably the most popular ones available for Lightwave. Okay, the address is here. I'll just keep this up, but you might want to freeze the screen and just copy that down if you don't already know where to get these from. And what I needed to use those for was Dennis provides this really cool node-based image filter, which gives us a really powerful kind of compositing toolkit for Lightwave. So let's double click on this. It's under my image filters, so let's have a look at the nodes. And this is producing my light wrap. So basically it kind of looks probably more complicated than it is, but the general principle of a light wrap is really just to produce kind of a soft masked area of our background plate and just composite it or screen it back over the top of our rendered element. So let's have a look at this. Let's blow this away, and I'm going to run through how I did this step by step. Okay, so I've got my image filter node here, which is I'm going to switch on Viper because it can use the Viper tool just to preview the image filtering effect, and here it is here. Go normal, get that. So this is the raw render without the light wrap on. So a light wrap requires just a mask, the shape of the UFO or the Valkyrie, and it uses that to just bring in some of that background image, and we'll just blend it back over the top. So to create this mask, this is probably the most difficult part, if you can call it difficult. So let's start by going to the DP filter nodes, okay, under my node image filter, and we're looking for buffers. And we need to get just the render buffers. Here it is here. It's basically all of the buffers that come out of our rendering engine. Now all I need out of here is the color, which is the original render. We can plug that in and you better see it doesn't look any different. And the alpha channel, which looks like that. So what I need to do is produce a nice soft edge in here with a dark inside so it doesn't blend anything in. I need to get that alpha channel, and I need to go through and under Math, Scalar, first of all I need to flip it inside out, because I'll show you in a sec. Let's get alpha in, because what I do is I want to blend in this white into the black right here. So I need to invert it, and then to bleed it we need to go under our DP filters nodes and get this fast blur filter, which will let me just blur that out a little. So let's plug that into Scalar, because it is a scalar value, and double click, and I'm going to change this to 1000% on both X and Y, and let's just check out what that looks like in Viper. And that's what I'm after. It's this kind of white fading or blurring in to the black. Okay, now I need to just clip this to the shape of the UFO. So the easiest way to do that is under Math again. We use a multiply, and I'm going to take the value and I'm going to multiply it by the original alpha channel, the one that's not inverted, because as you recall the alpha channel is black and white, and anything multiplied by black becomes, well, black. So let's feed that into multiply here, and let's have a look at the result of that. And that is our Lightwrap mask. Now, like anything to do with post-processing, it's kind of recommended that you don't do it directly in Lightwave in case you don't like it, because it gets applied over the top of your original render before they're saved. And if you do it and you put it on and you don't like it and you've done a huge sequence, you're going to end up with this big mess that you're going to remove and then re-render. So you could save this out as a buffer that you could then use, or I should say a mask rather than a buffer that you could use inside your compositing package. But in this example, I'm going to be using it directly in image processing to add the Lightwrap in Lightwave, okay, without the need for a compositing package. So to do that, we need just to get the background image, in which case it's easy as going to our 2D texture image, and in the image node, let's double click and take our background plate, Henderson IMG 6093, okay, which we'll look at quickly, PAL background, and I need to just basically mask it in using this as the mask. So I can just plug this straight into opacity and then plug this straight into color. And now I've got a masked in version of my background image. Now with light wrapping in general, you don't tend to just use the raw background plate, because you run the risk of a very detailed background producing a very detailed effect around the edges, which will just look like the image is actually just been smeared into it. What we tend to do is we just want the kind of general lighting effect, which means just a case of blurring this background. So under DP filter, we get another fast blur node. We'll take the color into color here. Let's double click on fast blur. I'm going to blur it, but maybe not as much as my mask there. So 500 by 500%. Just quickly test that. And here it comes. Yep, that's pretty good. And I want to take that and that to produce my light wrap effect again. Now you notice that fast blur doesn't have an opacity control, so I can't kind of cut it out in here. But I know that color is a vector type value. It's got 3 values, red, green, blue, and a scalar is 1 value. So it's going from 0 to 100%, or black to white. Therefore, if we go to math, vector, we'll use this thing called scale, and we'll take our color into the vector input, and we'll scale it, basically multiply it in a way, by this value, which is 0 to 100%. And if we feed that back into color just to see the effect, we're back to what we had before, but this time with a nice blurred background image, which will give us more of a soft lighting effect rather than a nice crisp pixel effect. Okay, so that's given us that. We just need to blend this together into our actual render. So we need to just blend that back on top. For that, I'm going to go under the Tools nodes, and I'm going to use a Mixer node, which is a cool tool for blending two images back together in different ways. So color up here is our original render. I'm going to take that, plug it into our background, and we're going to take this color, our nice new Lightwrap, plug it into foreground. Let's just move these around. They're getting a bit busy in here, and that's not because it's a messy kind of layout. It's just the fact I've got a smaller screen space here for the recording. So let's just bring this up. That's pretty cool. And let's just double click on that and say blending mode. I'm going to use screen just to blend it on top, so the lighter pixels get blended over the top and added into it. So we'll take color, plug it in here, and if we watch here, thinking about it, and then Vibe will update, we get a nice looking light wrap effect. Now at 100%, and we'll do a quick render just to see what happens here, it's going to be probably a little too much, and a light wrap should really be a subtle effect rather than a kind of in your face glowing background effect like that. Okay, so that's not what we're looking for. It's a little bit too glowy. We just want enough to softly blend it into the edges and make the lighting feel a bit more natural. So let's double click on our mixer node, and usually about 35% would probably be quite good for this. Okay, we can just kill Viper for now because it's just we don't need it. So render, disable Viper, and let's just do one more render to see the effect. Now, like I said, probably recommend that you don't do these sort of effects directly into your render. It's better off leaving that to a compositing package. And that could be Photoshop or any other layer-based system that supports layer masks and so forth. It gives you more control, and you can adjust that blending mode and so forth. Okay, so here it is with our over the top, which kind of looks like it's just fading into the background picture. And here it is a bit more subtle, just to add a little bit of the background into the foreground. Okay, so that's all about light wrapping. I hope that's something of interest that you might want to make use of. And go ahead, have a play yourself and enjoy. I'll talk to you in the next video.